Guys, welcome to another lecture discussion, whatever, where we're exploring the works of Hughes. Uh, we were doing the tender plays before this, and I'd see if anything more needs to be uh, a- added in the tender plays. But I think for now, I feel like that's enough information discussion. Um, and if anything more needs to be added over there, I will. Um, but I want to start with another work by Hughes, which is I think one of his. I mean, with all of Hughes's work, any work you see by Hughes, you're like, oh, this is the best. No, this is the best. No, this is the best. And you're like, Hughes's work is magic, waiting for you to discover more. So this one's called View of a Pig. Um, it's a poem that calls for empathy and a lot of it, and a whole lot of sensitivity. Um, it means a lot of things because it talks about human cruelty. It talks about beauty of nature. It calls upon for veganism. It talks about a lot of things, and I'd read it, and then we'll discuss. I'll read out the poem first. The pig lay on a barrow dead. It weighed, they said, as much as 3 men. Its eyes closed, pink white eyelashes. Its trotters stuck straight out. Such weight and thick pink bulk, set in death, seemed not just dead. It was less than lifeless. Further off, it was like a sack of wheat. I thumped it without feeling remorse. One feels guilty insulting the dead, walking on graves. But this pig did not seem to be able to accuse. It was too dead. Just so much. A poundage of lard and pork. It was its last dignity had entirely gone. It was not a figure of fun. Too dead now to pity, to remember its life, din, stronghold of earthly pleasure as it had been, seemed a false effort and off the point. Too dead, factual, its weight oppressed me. How could it be moved? And the trouble of cutting it up. The gash in its throat was shocking but not pathetic. Once I ran at a fair in the noise to catch a greased piglet that was faster and nimbler than a cat. Its squeal was the rending of metal. Pigs must have hot blood. They feel like ovens. Their bite is worse than a horse's. They chop a half moon clean out. They eat cinders, dead cats. Distinctions and admirations such as this one was long finished with. I stared at it a long time. They were going to scald it and scour it like a doorstep. Um, it's a very disturbing poem, obviously. When I say disturbing, I mean it tries to build empathy, but in extremely Edgar Allan Poe voice, right? Because it reminds you directly of The Telltale Heart, um, the short story by Edgar Allan Poe. And here, though he's focusing all on the gory details and descriptions, the reality or the matter of the subject actually that he's trying to focus on is not the dead pig, but the empathy that he's trying to build in. Um, as I said, there are two meanings of the poem. Um, it's about man as well as nature and animals. Um, it talks about Mother Nature because Hughes himself viewed Mother Nature as Mother Nature, right? So, like a mother, it's very accepting of all that we do. Um, and the man remains to be a child, but also of what was mentioned in Lord of the Flies, right? When the plane crashes on the island, there's a scar on the island. It talks exactly about that. Um, View of a Pig is also about learning to think through problems and inconveniences in a way that you end up finding acceptance. So it's also about tragedy, that something done is done. Now you can't do much about it. Um, Whether it's death, whether it's an event, anything, um, any word that you also utter, if it's said, it's said. There's no way back to it. It talks about the nature of time, that it passes. Um, it only affects that one person whose time is passing, and that's about it, and not everyone else. And then, of course, the poem runs through all the frustrating steps of a new problem. Um, but as I said, it eventually ties back to the idea of finding sympathy and acceptance that it's done, it's over. With some thought that one's frustrating encounter with the pig leads to also the realization that when people who do consume animal products, they consume it, how are those animal products actually manufactured behind? You know what I mean? When you eat something that has, say, gelatin or pig product or whatever, there is a dead pig exactly like that somewhere, that can't do anything if you kick it because it was killed. So it's a very sad poem. We'll discuss it further. We'll go into line by line breakdown. But this was the first discussion in the series where we started View of a Pig. So we'll move forth in upcoming videos. If you like the video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up as well as subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon to stay updated for whenever a new video drops in.